talk about today's flight. When you're dealing with thermal weather conditions, I'll go through a couple of basics with you. There's wind speeds, obviously. Those are important. You know, you don't want to get anything past what you can handle. Then there's thermal strength, but they can sort of predict based on some funny looking charts the rate that the heating air will climb, how fast it will slow down, temperature gradients as you go higher and higher. Depending on the strength that they're going up and the speed that the wind is moving across the ground, they'll either stay together in these big uniform columns or they'll get chopped to pieces. And that's called the buoyancy to shear ratio. Buoyancy, the air going up, and then the shear, the wind that's cutting across it. If that ratio is out of whack, if it's down, low number, then it's hard to work. You'll get these little burbles that'll float up, and the wind chops them, and you get another little burble, and it's just almost like the entire air is just broken up. You got no uniformity to your thermals. And so on a day where you have a high buoyancy to shear ratio, that number is high, the thermals are uniform and you can get in them and they stay together. It's a solid mass of air that you can climb up in. Those are the days you're looking for. Down in Colombia, went down to that part of the world close to the equator. Something about that valley, the way it sits there, the thermals, they all stay together. There's no wind. And so you get in a thermal and you've got this nice uniform column of air coming up. You get a lot of wind, like we had here today. It's just going to be broken up, and you're not going to get any uniformity. So there's your quick lesson in paragliding weather for the day, guys. Study up on your meteorology if you want to get into that. It's an entire career. It's more than just a sentence or a paragraph. There are books and classes written on this. Meteorology is quite a fascinating subject. I do understand a great deal of it. Being a pilot for almost the past decade, I've really come in tune with the weather, and I see it from a different perspective. It's hard to put into words something that you can't see. I mean, you see the clouds going on between the ground and the clouds. That's a very interesting phenomenon. It's known as micrometeorology, and that's what you really want to be tuned up on for sure if you're going to be doing local paragliding, is your micrometeorology, where the thermals actually break off the world and go up. There are ground triggers, and then you've got sky indicators. Your skills are going to improve if you understand that. Learning what it feels like, something you can't see, you feel it. It's strange. I guess like sitting in a river, if you just feel, you can feel where the water's moving. Well, when you got that big old wing attached to you, you can feel the same thing happening in the air. It's very strange, isn't it? What happens in your mind when you start feeling that and forming what they call mental mapping. You listen to the Vario, you feel what's going on with the wing and the harness, and you feel where the air's moving. And when you feel that, it tunes you in to where you need to go. It would be neat to be a bird and have the kind of gear that they've got hooked straight to their brain. Pretty cool what you can train your body to do to sense these things. I'm very interested in it now. It's a neat thing. If you're curious, there's a lot to study up. I don't know if I'm gonna go into any big lectures on the super fine details of it all. That's the little skinny right there. That's what I was looking at today. That's what today's conditions brought, is a medium buoyancy to shear ratio. It was still workable. It was an interesting day. Every time you fly, the air is different. I like to feel as much of it as I can, as long as it was within safety parameters. It was bucking wild today. You wouldn't have wanted to go up today unless you've got at least 100 hours free flight experience, in my opinion. It was pretty chopped up. I felt the hadron lose a tip and a couple little bangs on it that I've never felt that wing before. That was with trims out. So it was hopping pretty good today, but you got to stay on the wing and know how to fly it. And when it becomes almost reflexive in nature as to the inputs you need to do, then you're getting somewhere. Then you can push yourself to that next level if you want to. But go at your own speed. It's important. Well, that's it. I'm going to the grocery store and get some steak to cook. Kyle out.